First Peter 4, um, verse 2, it says that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wines, revellings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that you run with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this cause the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the Spirit. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, Barakatah. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Muslim that rule well, and shalom to all the brothers in the work, Syrian truth. Yeah, so as it says, the end of all things is at hand. Really, it's the end of all Esau's, all his constructions, all that he's basically had got set up. And now it's what? It's the time where we're coming into the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, where what? Yahushai is going to be glorified. And the means by which that's going to come about is what? Them thermonuclear missiles, man. That nuclear destruction that's going to come at the tail end of Esau, basically fulfilling most of his plans, man. You're going to have that Karagma coming, you're going to have that Mark coming, the MOTB. And you're going to have what? Esau part of 7 things, you're going to have that hour of temptation, where the whole world's going to be tried. And then what? It's going to end in nuclear fire. And that's what, these Russians, these guys, these other set of Edomites are being utilized for. It's on Newsweek. It says what? Russia primes nuclear bomb 12 times more powerful than dropped on Hiroshima. It says video of an intercontinental ballistic missile on a silo launcher has been released by Russia's defense ministry. And obviously these guys are in the midst of the skirmish with Ukraine, and that's been something that's been mentioned as far as the utilization of missiles against these guys. That's something that's been spoken about greatly, because why? The missile thing that's been spoken about. I mean, the missile thing has been spoken about because, as far as people expected the war to go, they were expecting it to just Russia to just bulldoze over them and just bring it into that shit swiftly. And it's been dragged out, and that's been like what? When December says 10 months, because it was February. Yeah, it's been 10 months. Looking like it can easily go for a year plus, multiple years, easily. Because why? Ukraine's getting non-stop support from the Western world. So I read on a bit more. So it says, widely reported by the country's media in an apparent warning to the West. Because why? That's really where it's going to escalate. That's where it's going to culminate. In the West, where it's all going to boil over. And then what? It's going to be all kinds of... It's going to get peaked, man. It's going to be on top. What is it? Russian tabloid newspaper Komsomol reported that the Yars missile complex, which was loaded in the Kaluga region, had a capacity 12 times greater than the American bomb that destroyed Hiroshima, referring to the atomic weapon dropped on a Japanese city on August 6th, 1945. The mass circulation paper's report outlined some of the missile specifications, which include a launch weight of 4,600 tons, an operational range of 12,000 kilometers, that can strike the US or anywhere in Europe, and a payload of up to 500 kilotons. You had mentioned before, they said like London would be one of the first strike areas for the missiles. Because why? Because London's what do you call it? One of those free unclean frogs, man, and free unclean spirits like unto frogs. It's one of the centralized areas of the power of the beast system. It's basically the financial head, and that's where most of the financial power comes out of, and it's the mother. It's the mother of the beast. This is what the RS-24 Yars is an improved version of the previous Topo M, known in the West as SS-29. It was developed by the Moscow Institute of Thermal Engineering and first tested in 2007. Able to prepare for launch in 7 minutes, the missile can be fired from a prepared site, a special garage with a sliding roof, or from an unprepared position during field deployment, according to website Military Today. And there was something else I saw as well about them having a mobile platform, which is funny because the Metal Gear Solid games, that was basically the premise of their games, where it was having the capability to fire nukes from any kind of terrain. Just fucked everything up, because now it's like you got nuclear submarines, you got sites. Well, that's what the whole Cuban Missile Crisis was, where it was America put their missiles in Turkey, and then it was basically like they had, the range was less them times as well. So it wasn't like they could fire from Russia, and they didn't really have the nuclear submarines to be hitting the US back. So basically it would have been like they would have got struck, they would have been done, and like they would have had no defense. So then they were going to put missiles in Cuba. Well, I think they already had missiles there, but they were going to send more. And then that was like, what if this, this goes to the breaking point and the missiles can fly and it's all done. So that is basically one of the main points of tension. And then what? Now that it's basically a thing where people can get fired on. That's why, in Japan, they were losing their minds over North Korea doing doing missile tests where one landed in their waters. Because as far as it's like North Korea is close enough, and they have the technology to where they could, if they wanted to, hit out against them. And these guys are fucked. Because why? They'd have to rely on the US for that defense. So these things are basically what that pressure being applied to where you're gonna have that conflict crop up. And it's gonna be peak. So it says what? The Russian Defense Ministry said on Wednesday that the missile was installed in the silo using a special transport and loading unit in an operation that took several hours. The operation was in the lead up to Russia's annual Strategic Missile Forces Day, which will be marked on Saturday the 17th of December. The importance of the operation lies in the fact that the next missile will be on combat duty as planned. Alexei Sokolov, commander of the Kozelsky Missile Formation, said. The motherland will receive another sample of nuclear missile weapons, which will allow us to solve any tasks on the strategic level. So yeah, when they're looking to engage with the US, which is going to go down, that Third World War, it's going to be, it's being roused, it's going to boil over, it's going to intensify, the fire's going to catch, it's going to pop off. And that's what, they're talking about on the strategic level. It's basically being able to be like, okay, if they need to fire on Ukraine, if they need to fire on, what the hell's the other place? Ukraine. On in Europe, the UK, in the Americas, wherever, basically against allies of of NATO and the EU. That's going to be the main focus. Then that's what they mean by strategy, because that's how it's going to go. It's going to be like what all these nations, they're going to turn against America. And then what? It's going to be a mess. So it says, Vadim Vyazovsky, an engineer quoted by the outlet, said, "I am proud of Russia that my country puts into service such products that the motherland can sleep peacefully. The Yars was on display in October during military drills of Russia's strategic nuclear forces overseen by Vladimir Putin. The exercises prompted Kremlin propagandist Igor Korochenko to say on Channel Russia 1 that it's very important that we're demonstrated who our main adversary is and what waits him. Yeah, because that's what their spirit's been roused up, man. That's what they're basically being pushed towards. Because it's going to be that main conflict between Russia and their allies, and then EU, NATO, and their allies, and then EU's gonna flip. The allies are gonna flip on America. Isaiah 54:16 says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." So yeah. As far as with that nuclear missile, it was tasked. It was something that was developed. The spirit was put on the men to basically put that together, because it's got a goal. It's got something to achieve. There's a reason why it's been put together. Because for what? It's for taking out what do you call it? It's for taking out it's for taking out America, man. Chiefly, that's a chief role. Because there's other spots that's gonna be hit, but then what? America's gonna get roasted, man. It's gonna get toasted, and that's something that now people are realizing is as close as it is. Because why? Because of the conflict in Ukraine. Most people are kind of thinking like, oh, that's done, but now it's being mentioned, now it's being roused up. Now people on tenterhooks, man. Proverbs 16:4, it says, "The Lord Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil." Yeah, even the wicked's been made for what? For the day of evil. Because as far as that's one of the main goals. That's one of the chief things Esau's been made for, to be the wicked, and then what? For the day of evil, man. For that day when he gets judged. And it's basically what? To glorify the name of Yahweh, glorify the name of Yahweh Shai. And then what? Bring about the kingdom of heaven. Because Esau can't be in rulership and then the kingdom's set up as well. Nah. So this is what Obadiah 1:6 says, "How the things of Esau searched out, how are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him." Yeah, all those allies, all those guys that are currently with America, coming against, talking against Russia. Hey, the spirit's gonna be putting them to flip that, and then what? They're all gonna turn their missiles on America. "Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter." Yeah. It's basically going to be schemed against Esau and flipped on him. So that what? He's done out, man. He's finished. He's finito. And it's going to be what? Allies turn against you. This as well. So this is what Revelation 17:12. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive powers as kings 1 hour with the beast." So yeah, EU and NATO, and it says what? These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, which is what currently now these nations are giving their strength unto the beast. They're back in America, essentially, in coming against Russia. But it says what? These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So yeah, them allies, EU and NATO, they're gonna turn against the whore, turn against America, and then what? They're gonna unleash their fire upon her, man, which is their missiles. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Yeah. So until the time is such that they're gonna fulfill what? The will of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua by turning on the beast, then they'll be fine with putting their all behind America. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Shalom.